When the blue star Kashna makes its appearance in the heavens, the fifth world will emerge. This will be the day of purification. The Hopi name for the star Sirius is blue star Kashna. It will come when the Sasquatchana blue star Kashina dances in the plaza and removes her mask. In the final days, we will look up in our heavens and we will witness the return of the two brothers who helped create this world in the birthing time. Pogonya Hoya is the guardian of the North Pole, and his brother Polongoa Hoya is the guardian of the South Pole. In the final days, the blue star Kashna will come to be with her nephews, and they will return to the earth, to its natural rotation, which is counterclockwise. The Egyptians also speak in their very ancient, in the beginning times, of the earth's rotation being counterclockwise. They even describe the earth stopping. The Egyptians. What I have just read is the Hopi prophecy of the end times. But the Egyptians in their beginning times talk of the earth rotation being in another rotation, and that at the end times that rotation will return. I'm sure the Creator will explain to us what the change in rotations of the earth has to do with our life and this current age. Also, there is a lot of circumstantial evidence that points to that the earth points to some information that says that the earth used to have a 0-degree orbit, that the earth, that the equator was just running around in a circle, and that the equator was just a perfect temperature, and the planet was regulated by the poles, and that they have heavy ice caps. They had heavy ice caps for the first couple of ages of the planet, and then in the fourth age, for whatever happened, the planet turned into a 23-degree angle, and that's why we have the 4 seasons, and we have a clockwise orbit. So these are going to be interesting times as they develop. Speaking of developments, there are developments with the Comet Atlas, or as I call it, Nibiru, and as many people have identified it as Planet X or Planet 9. There's been talk of, and even in the commentary section of the channel, that the planet at the comet is breaking up. And if you look at some scans, well, here, I'll post them here. If you look at this, you're going to see that there does seem to be some kind of a breakup. And in the scan, you can see some elongation. But let's go ahead and match this up to our prophecy, which talks about in the final days we will look up into the heavens and we will witness the return of two brothers who helped create this world in the birthing time. We've seen another comet do a breakup, and that comet was called Shoemaker-Levy. And this was over 15-20 years ago when this event happened, and I remember it vividly, although my timing may be off in how many years ago it was. But I remember when it did happen, we were seeing the comet come in, and there was a prediction, because the orbit was so close to Jupiter, that the planet would be attracted to Jupiter's gravity and would impact it. And then there was a whole other group of astronomers that were saying, no, that comet is going to come past Earth and it's going to be spectacular. But the comet did not come to Earth, and so those that predicted that the comet would drift into Jupiter and be attracted by its strong gravity because it was going so close to it, had a surprise, because whenever the planet impacted the comet impacted the planet, it wasn't a solid impact that occurred. The comet broke up into pieces, and the gravitational pull of Jupiter caused that planet to disintegrate and impact the planet. And there was flashes because of the strength and the speed of the comet's impact into the planet. What we're seeing with Comet Atlas, in my view, is not it breaking apart, but it ejecting two objects, it ejecting two vehicles, if you will. And that could be what we're talking about in the final days. We are seeing the two brothers who helped create the planet return. And if you look at the pictures here, look at the close-up here. You see the streaks, and that is the basic motion of the planets and of the stars, and the basic fundamental path of the orbits and journey of stars and planets around the Earth. Well, look at here. Look right there. Comet Atlas is just doing completely different things. So it's not following a certain path. It's not following the gravitational pulls of the universe. It's doing its own thing. So that doesn't look like something falling apart. That looks like an ejection. So the main body is heading to the opposite side, the eastern side of planet Earth, the main body of Nibiru, and it's going to adopt an orbit between Jupiter and Mars for the time that it's going to be here. And this vehicle that is ejected, I think, is going to be something that is going to come to the planet Earth and part of the visiting team that comes from Nibiru to see how the planet's doing, and to welcome the new age and to begin the new age, which is talked about in several, well, of all of the monotheist religions, that the new age will be an age of peace, that there'll be reconciliation. I can see all of that happening, and that all of humanity will have a magical gift that removes our sense of evil, and will be in a wonder time of contentment and peace. And again, all of our ancestors are coming back. I've spoken about that in a couple of other videos. The ancestors are coming back, and I have a very strong feeling about this. Very strong feeling about this. Every religion talks about the soul. And I know that there are people that gripe about the Catholic Church and Judaism and how evil religion is, but that's just not the case. It's people that have an axe to grind with religion and just want a perfect society because they can imagine one. If I can imagine a perfect society, why isn't there one? Well, it's obviously got to be religion, because religion is not delivering on what it promises. Well, it promises, A, to care for your soul, to pray for you when you die, and hope that the journey that your soul makes to heaven is a good and quick one. And hopefully you've done well in your life to be able to pave that way for the soul. This is not just a Catholic idea or a Jewish idea, but it's all of the religions talk about a soul, even going back to the ancient, super ancient Egyptians and the Book of the Dead. And that's part of the mummification process. And there's just an ancient tradition of the immortal soul and the mortal body. And so when the new age comes, life will be over. Why do you say life will be over? Because life equals death. And I say this in just a metaphysical way. The new age we are going to be fundamentally immortal. And if you study genetics and if you study the cell, you will see that death, the aging process, is a programmed process. It's not the natural state of being of the cell. So as many cycles as you have of the cell dying and regenerating itself is a basic clock that is a countdown timer, and that says after a certain amount of time you're going to expire. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years, but nobody goes past 120. That's the body. But we have so many reports of near-death experiences where people float above their bodies and see things and can identify things, and there are studies that have documented some thousands now of near-death experiences. So there's more proof than not that there is a soul and that it is immortal. And the genetic code that we enjoy is nothing that evolved. There's no progenitors of humans, Lucy, and all of the fossils that we have. They just don't show that record of evolution. There's major jumps that occur in the fossil record, and also paleontologists have been corrupt in their view of their own fossils, because we have found fossils all over the world. There's a video in my channel talking about finding fossils all over the world and finding soft tissue in them, and then taking them and having them carbon dated and finding them to be only between 25,000 and 35,000 years old. So dinosaurs are not millions of years old, they're thousands of years old. So we've had a creator that's come back and forth to the planet and has done some things and is enjoying his creation. And during this age, this fourth age, we were given the choice of free will. And that's what happened with Adam and Eve. They made the choice of eating the poisoned apple and knowing good and evil. And that's what happened with this age. We have been an age filled with good and evil. Good things happen. People are good. Bad things happen. People are evil. And we've had 13,000 years of this occurrence of humanity. God's let it happen. He's helped us. He's influenced us in the good. He's influenced us in the evil, so that humanity can have the full experience. And now comes the fifth age that that all of the religions give prophecy to, that it's going to be an age of peace, and that it is going to be an age where the ancestors come back, the dead will rise, and the just will inherit the earth. So it's something that is spoken of in so many of the religions. So do your own research on all of this stuff. Eschatology is the theology part of religions that talks about the end times. Go to the Wikipedia and just see all the correlations, especially with this giant Comet Atlas that's half the size of the sun, and now is ejecting vehicles. It's things that are traveling. So something that travels is a vehicle, and it's traveling very fast. And as you can see in the pictures, it's not a normal path. So this is obviously under its own energy and going in its own direction. And we are again seeing, as we did with Oumuamua and Borisov, that there's navigation occurring with Comet Atlas. All right. Please like the video. That helps move this channel up in the algorithm of YouTube, and that will allow me to get in touch with more people and put them at ease as things get intense. Remember that the best thing that you can do during this intense time is to focus on your spirituality. Know that this has been planned and has been prophesized So start reading those prophecies. I would stay away from the Christian revelations because that's I just don't see it. It's just too violent. And if you're a creator and a loving God, you're just not going to do what Revelations talks about in the violent process. It's going to be tough on a lot of people, and there's going to be, I think, some upheaval and some violence. Maybe we'll get rough like Revelations. But the new planet, the new way of life, the new age is for all of us. And that has to be the biggest message of all of the prophecies, of all of the end time theologies, of all of the religions. Is not only is it going to be an age of peace, but it's going to be the age of all of the people that have come on to the planet Earth, and we are going to share in the reward. And it's not going to be through death, it's going to be through resurrection. All right, again, like the video if you like it. If you don't like it, don't like it. Give me what you think and feel. Subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be releasing videos every day and getting as much information as I can out there. A lot of videos, well, it's going to be one video a day is going to be a production video like this one that has different graphics, and the follow-up video is going to be a quick release video because, as anybody knows that has a channel and does editing of videos, it's very time consuming, and it's very time consuming to after the video is done for it to generate itself. So and then to post it. So one is going to be produced and one is going to be just uploaded as is without production. Finally, as many subscribers as I can get on the channel is appreciated. That pushes me up the algorithm, gets more views in the searches that come up. And then finally, share the video with as many people as you can, just to begin the conversation, the awareness at a slow grassroots level, which is what the Creator would like and the governments would like, just a slow murmur of what is happening. So when the crescendo happens, there's many of us that are already ready for the message, and those that aren't ready for the message, hopefully it will be manageable. We've already had a good dry run at the seven stages of denial, of grief, of something traumatic happening, which one of the first ones is denial, which is the most dangerous. Your mind is shut off to what's happening. So many of us that have our minds open, I wonder how many of you have experienced your third eye, are going to be ready to help and comfort those that can. All right, thanks for everything, guys. See you soon. Bye. Peace.